What is up, my ninjas? I am Strydent, and welcome to Joe Talk Blind Fire Episode 2. Today, I'm going to talk about some Marauders Task Force stuff, both the Task Force and Valkyrie figures that I got a couple months ago, and I'm getting around to it right now. I'm going to go through, show you some customs that I made, and possibly you could do the same thing if you want. And I also have some announcements about things that I plan to be doing on my channel going forward with G.I. Joe content. So, you know the drill. Sit back, relax, and here we go.
I just got this Marauders set a couple months ago. I made these customs, and I wanted to talk about them. As you can see, though, I've managed to fix a couple Joes that needed it. Mainly CoverGirl, as you see back there. That's my clutch right there in the middle between the guy with the mask and Rock and Roll. I made Rock and Roll Senior and Junior. So sorry for the shakiness of the camera. I had to shoot this with my iPhone because my regular camera, the battery is acting up. You know, when you charge it and it just doesn't stay charged. Anyway, so this is the 25th custom that I did. The base is the 25th anniversary roadblock, but then I added things to make him look a little bit more modern. Well, as you know, I'm a big Rise of Cobra person, so this here is the bench press body, but I used the Marauder's head with the kind of dirty blonde beard to give us an older Rock and Roll. And then this here is the roadblock body from Retaliation. And now we have a younger Rock and Roll. You can see they have things in common from their bandolier, you know, the freaking saw. Just he's got the box on it and he doesn't. Instead, I'll probably have this bandolier connected to it, you know. But, you know, I like the fact that this and this have similarities, and then this right here feels like what we know Rock and Roll to be. If we're going for the more tactical approach, I'm not a fan of the IDW version. The version that's seen in, what is that, Revolution? It's not my bag. A lot of people like that stuff. To me, it's just too, like, it's too much of, this is my take on something. They're not tactical. They don't look like soldiers. They don't even look like superheroes. They just look like people in you know, gear, and it just doesn't work for me. Agent Helix. Let's her in the back. It was like one of those things where I'm like, why didn't I think of this before? As I was looking at the head, I was like, this would be perfect. Why don't I use this head for Agent Helix? So that's what I did. So now she has a more, you know, she has a prettier face, and hopefully it'll clear up. Yeah, there we go. Prettier face, and the hair is simpler without all those freaking stripes and shit in there. She just looks better to me, so I'm gonna leave her like that. Kudos to you, Marauders. You guys do great fucking work. Great work. Then we finally have my Pursuit of Cobra clutch. It's about damn time, you know? I've been waiting to make this character, and it took forever, and now I did it. And I like it. Pretty much used bench press his head on a Dollar General series Joe body. You know, I think that was Shipwreck. And then the vest comes from Marauders, and that was it. So simple that it's almost painful, you know? But he's perfect. He's got all the articulation you could want, and it works for me. Now, this character here taking a knee, I have no idea who she is. I might just make her into a character later on. I don't want to make her a green shirt because she looks too cool to be a green shirt. And also, she's using a special gun. So she's got to be someone special in my universe. So in the Joe-verse, this is going to be someone special, someone, you know, with a code name and whatnot. And she has to be in the Fenris verse because she has the same head as Helix, and I don't want ever to have the two of them, you know, side by side like that. So, yeah, she looked pretty cool. I had fun putting her together, and, you know, it's real simple. I have a helmet for her, too, so you'll be seeing her. Um, Here's another thing I did. So, you guys know how much I complained about, you know, how much I didn't like Shooter. I felt like Shooter was very crappy. You know, she wasn't a very good figure. And initially what I was going to do is take her head off and put it on a black Marauders body, but the head is too small, as you can see, and it doesn't fit. You have to Dremel out some, or you have to fill it with like putty or something so that it takes up some of the space that's left when you use one of these pegs. But look at the body. This is going to be Shooter's body. I'm going to get a Marauders African-American woman head, and I'm going to make my own Shooter, and that's the body. This initially was going to be the body for Shooter, and it might still, because I could just pop that torso off of this figure and just put this one on. But I mean, look at that, and she already holds a rifle better. So, you know, it's exactly what I was telling you. You can use Marauders to improve stuff that Hasbro has already made, and you end up with much better figures, you know? So that is going to happen. This here is an original character. This is my brother, my younger brother. His code name is, what did we call him? Is it Long Range? I made him the Thunderclap Driver. I figured let's do something different with, you know, the Thunderclap and the driver and whatnot. And so before, he just wore the helmet. I like that helmeted head, and I like this kit bash that I did. And I was like, you know what? I'll just make him into a real character. And so what I did was I took one of the Marauders heads, just popped it on my kit bash, and there we go. We have an unmasked head for Long Range. My version of Long Range, because I know he's an existing Joe. Then we have CoverGirl. I love this version of CoverGirl. Now, I know she's supposed to be like a redhead or something, but come on. How can we have two ridiculously fine redheads on the same team? You know what I mean? That gets kind of old. So I decided to, you know, just put the brunette head on there and keep it simple. And I love it, and I'm sure Shipwreck loves it too. So that's what we're doing with her. And last but not least, we have this mysterious guy in his armor. Now, for those of you who've been watching the channel, you know that's me. It's Weaponsmith. That's my old stand. I still haven't made a new one that would say Weaponsmith. Instead, I have Gunsmith on there. Anyway, I made a character back in the day named Edge, and Edge was a demon hunter, and he used knives, only knives and swords and shit like that, but mostly knives. And over the years, he's transformed, and then I had this, he turned into this idea of Weaponsmith. He makes a lot of the weapons that other characters will use, you know? And he worked for G.I. Joe for a time. So what I'm doing now, sorry with all this movement, it's looking, my video is looking real ghetto. Good Lord. So what I'm going to do with him now is Weaponsmith. There's going to be a point in the story where Weaponsmith has to deal with a threat by himself. Sorry about that. It's all him. So what I figure I'm going to do is he's going to be all armored up in this look. This right here will be, you know, what you see. And he'll be using that gun that you saw in the short, which I'm recutting and re-editing so that it's not just them unloading endless amounts of bullets for the sake of doing so, because that was kind of comedic and, you know, it was a test. I didn't think it would be something that I would take seriously. This helmet, this whole body is a Marauder's body. The only thing that's not is the head, which is the G.I. Joe 30th anniversary ripcord from Renegades, but it doesn't look anything like ripcord. It looks more like me, so, you know, Weaponsmith was born. So yeah, that is it for my customs. I just want to do a quick video so I could show you guys what I have been doing with this stuff. And very soon we are going to have continuous Joe coverage from me. there are a lot of Joe vehicles, a lot of Joe stuff that I did not cover, you know? And I have a sizable collection of Joes, and I felt like, you know what? It's time that I break out all that shit and I review it all. I'm going to do the Thunderclap. I'm going to do the Thunder Wing. I'm going to do as much as I can do this year of G.I. Joe stuff because we're sorely lacking in it. And, a lot of the reviewers that have reviewed a lot of that stuff, they're just not very thorough. And they're not very, what's the word? They're kind of like phony. Like they don't really play with these things. They don't appreciate it on the level that some of us do. And you need that. If you really want to hear and know what these things do, you're going to need to hear it from someone who knows what these things do, and I am such a person. So I'm going to give you that coverage, and it's going to be ongoing. I'm going to do a whole bunch of Pursuit of Cobra because it needs to be done, and I'm going to do a whole bunch of vehicles and stuff because we need to review more vehicles. I apologize for the little movement going on. I don't normally use my phone to do reviews, so this was kind of a last minute thing. If you guys want to help me out, give me a thumbs up, let me know if this didn't bother you too much, you know what I'm saying? I know someone will anyway because you guys always do. So just, bear with me. Don't be too hard on me. I do better content than this when I am with my proper setup. So anyway, that is my Marauders haul, customs, etc. for the time being. And I will be back with more videos and more coverage and probably more Marauders stuff. And that's it for me. You guys have been great. Peace outside.
Thank you for watching my video. If you enjoyed what you saw, please give it a like, a share, let your friends know. Check me out on social media. All the links are in the description. And if you really want to help me out big time, jump on Patreon and support the channel. Every little bit helps, the smallest amount to the largest amount. And last but not least, check out my comic, War of the Gods. Issue 2 is on sale now on Indie Planet. And the links are in the description. It's some superhero fun. And as a smaller independent book, it needs all the views, all the eyes on it as possible. So check it out. Show it to your friends. Every view helps greatly. And yeah, that's it for me. Thanks again.